Okay, now we're going to work on the second loans one. So open up the first one that you did, the scroll spin one, and then save it as just loans or a new name anyway. If the other one's just loans, just give this one a different name because we're going to change a lot of things in here. This actually screen here telling you please click on the arrows of this message. I had that in the written directions. I didn't tell you in the video ones, and it's fine if you turned it in without that. But we are going to eliminate everything in these particular cells. This one is all merged, so I'm going to have to unmerge that one. And then I'm actually going to get rid of these spin and scroll bars. Want to get rid of this number, and I'm now going to change this to just the number 4 and this one to the 3.25 and type in your percent sign. And that's how it should be now. Now, I think that might be a different amount. We've changed the dollar amount here, but that's okay. Now we're going to do something else with this. We're going to add several data tables. Data tables, there is a workaround. It's kind of ugly. So for the most part, data tables need to be on the same worksheet page, not just the same file, but on this page, and that the formulas are. So we're going to add some information over here. I'm going to do a 1, 2, then get that little gray or black plus and see the little gray number down at the bottom. Take it over until 5 and then go 10 and then take the 5 and 10 and take that on over until you see 40. So this would do for a loan, a smaller loan up to 5 years, and then the larger ones, a small business loan, house loan, whatever it might be. Then on the percents, we're going to start with 3.00 and type in the percent here and do the same with the 3.25%. Then get those two numbers, get that little black plus and come down until you see the gray 8%. That's typically where loans go right now. They are at the lower numbers, the 3% and 4%, but getting up to close to 8% is not that unusual. Depends on what the overall economic situation is. Then do 9%, and now the 8 and 9%, we're going to go down 1% at a time instead of 1/4%. These are higher interest rates. This is what happens when you have no credit, poor credit, or you deal with pawn shops or some of the little local used car shops. Varies, but notice that interest rate because it does climb up considerably and can affect things a lot. So what we want to see is if this loan information stayed the exact same, what would happen, what would my payments be if I had just a 1-year loan or if I had a 5% interest. So I'm seeing what happens when interest rates change and years of loan. So when you have that done, what we want here in the corner is that payment. So we click on the 500 over here because we want that formula. And now we're going to highlight from that $500 over to the 40 years and down to the 24%. That's our entire data table that's highlighted. Then go to Data, What If Analysis, Data Table. The row input, the row is where the years of the loan is, so we're going to click on this 4 over here in B8. The column input are the interest rates, so that's cell B6 where that interest on that first initial data that we put in is in there. Click on OK and it fills in the entire table. So if we look here at a 4-year loan at 3.25%, we look here at 3.25% in 4 years, that payment does match. So we're going to take all of this inside the table, not the percents and not the years up on top. Take all of this inside and change that to currency. Just makes it easier to read. Up here, we're going to click all of this and do merge and center and say years of loan. And right here, we need that formula. But that $500 sitting there in the table does not make a lot of sense. So right click on that, go to Format Cells, Custom Format, and in here, with this box where it says type in inside quotations, put interest rate. Then do your ending quotations and say okay. So what we see is the interest rate, but down behind that, we still see up here in the formula bar that it does have that B10. So it must point over here to formulas. Now if we change this loan to a $40,000 car loan, don't put any more down, we instantly see what happens to our payments. Again, pounds mean I need more room, so make that column a little bit wider. And now we see what happens. You can also see what happens as the interest rate goes up. Pick on the 4 years. As the interest rate goes up, that payment goes way up. As the years of loan go up, that payment goes down. Here at the end, good luck getting a 40-year loan on a car. But again, like I said, this should cover any loan you're looking at, whether it be small, a vehicle, or slightly bigger on up into a house. So that's what we want to do on that. Now we're going to do a couple more tables varying just the interest rate and just the years of payment. So, and this column isn't quite wide enough, so I'm copying my 3% down to my 24%. And I'm just going to come down here a ways and paste it in somewhere. And then I'm going to do the same here, copying from 1 to 40. Coming over a few columns. This should be enough, but this time I want to do the paste down arrow, paste special, and transpose as I want it to go the other direction. So here I want to look at two different things with just the interest rate changing, but the years of the loan staying the same. I'm going to hit the equal, and come up here to my payment amount. And then next to that, I'm going to look at the total interest paid. And I'm going to do the same thing over here where I'm just varying the years of the loan, but not changing the interest at all. So you can see all different types of things that happen. So now I don't have a row input, I just have columns, and I have two formulas. So now my table goes for these three columns in this first table, and I go to my data table, data tab, data table. I said there's no row input, but the column input, again, I come up to my original data, and it's that 3.25%, and I say okay. So here's what happens with our payment and with the total amount that we paid, varying only the interest, nothing else. Our first table varied both the interest and the years. And again, we want to custom format these two. Those formulas are needed, but we want it to show. So this one is payment. I didn't do it in quotes, so it gave me an error message. And then I do the same with this one. And inside quotes, I'm going to put total interest. So that completes that one. So I'll let you do this last one on your own, and it will show the chart with you varying just the years of the loan, not the amount of the interest. And anytime you're looking at a different loan, like I did last time, you simply come up here, change the sale price and the down payment, and everything else you should not change, and it will give you all those new figures. So this one is now completed, and you can turn it in.